Yeah, yeah, TC3, we in the trenches.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go.
Lights on, mic check, time to go live. Game talk, real talk, straight from the grind. Recruitment, NIL, we cover it all. From the field to the books, we never gon' stall.
Nah.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go. Yeah, we talking facts. TC3, run it back.
All right, what up? What up? Glad that y'all tapped in. Glad to see y'all. Want to welcome y'all to another edition, to a special edition of Trench Talk Live tonight. Where we're gonna talk real technique. We're gonna talk some of the trenches, and we're gonna spotlight a guy that I really think highly of. A friend of mine, somebody I played beside for quite a while, and really got to know. Tonight's guest is, no new person to the game, not somebody that the game hasn't, helped and seen, and he's kind of walked a different path. Tonight's guest is a guy by the name of Phillip Blake. Believe it or not, he great friend of mine, man. Can't say enough great things about him. A little bit about Phillip. He was a 2012 NFL Scout and Combine participant. He was drafted in the 4th round, 108th overall to the Denver Broncos. And then the previous year in the 2011 CFL draft, he went 23rd overall to the Montreal Alouettes. He's a Baylor grad, a Baylor Bear, played a ton of games there, played at right tackle, center guard, moved around. He's a Grey Cup champion. Shout out to the Toronto Argos. 2011 first team all Big 12. He started 95 out of 96 games in his CFL career and a 12-year career. I hope I did my greatest impression, my greatest job to give a great, Trench Talk Live. Welcome to my brother, none other than Phillip Blake, man. Phil, I appreciate you for coming on tonight, man. Appreciate having you, bro. Oh, hold on. You muted. Hold up. I got you. All right, we good now. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I just want to thank you for, allowing me to share my story and talk football, at the end of my career to say. But I just appreciate you, man. Thank you. And I got 100 games, like 100, 103. I got 100 games while the show it off.
My fault. Got 100. There you go,
That's
man.
That was best.
Hey, I try, man. To be honest with you, bro, I definitely I appreciate you for coming on, man. And you know what I'm saying, shed big light on that 100 games. Because first things first, a lot of people don't know is how cold it is, playing up there, and then the longevity, man, is crazy. Just like playing up there for a long time and just year after year after year. Sometimes not on the greatest fields, not in the best practice conditions, but we making work for an honest living, man. So let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Let's get into it again. A path very few have walked. Me and you laugh about it, man. We talk about it all the time. And I really wanted to get you up here, bro, because for the people that don't know, there's so many guys that play in the NFL, play in the CFL, and like have a path and a journey that, a lot of people don't talk about. And they make it for a while. And it's not a game, to be honest with you, in the position we play, it's not a game that you are designed to live past like 4 or 5 years in your career. Yeah. It's over with because you get beat up, you get banged up, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about, man. So where did things start? How did things start? Oh yeah, shout out to Toronto, man. So go ahead, start us out up in the
Yeah. So
six,
like you
man.
said, born and raised in Toronto. I played 2 years of summer league football in the OVFL for the Etobicoke Eagles, and then in the summer I played like 1 year high school football. So I played 1 year high school football with the 2 years of the summer league football, and I remember going to this camp. I was invited to this camp. I had to look at it today. I had to do this. It was about an hour and 3 minute walk to this little scouting combine by a guy named Ron Diaz. And there was a coach there from a prep school in Quebec, Canada. And he liked me and he asked me if I wanted to come up there and, continue playing football, and which I eventually agreed. And, I played 2 years there, which were, kind of my first, like, football brotherhood, the guys you're around and you got to wake up in the morning and run and train. Because before that, high school football in Canada, you playing during the last period of school, the bell rings, kids are walking around, they're looking, and they go back home and go about their business. But, playing in Quebec was, my first like experience of, football brotherhood, if you want to say. While I was there, I met a guy named Shamari Williams, who was actually a first overall pick in the CFL in 2010. And while we were there, he was a year ahead of me, but he created a list from like A to Z with all the schools. It was a recruiting name, the school, recruiting coordinator, their number, their email, and it was from A to Z. I still have the list of the day if I'm email it to you. But and then we used the school mailing service to mail out our highlight tapes. Back then we had to get cassette to CD and then burn it on a CD drive and then mail it out. Mm-hmm. So I was getting called. He eventually ended up going to University of Houston, and then he gave me the list, and I continued to try to send out tapes, and I was getting feedback from schools, but nobody was bringing me on a visit. So he called me. He's like, "Oh, Houston might be interested in you. They'll bring you on a visit." So, went on a visit. They brought me to this nice steakhouse. I was talking to the offense line coach, Randy Clements, who's at TC right now. And eating a nice steak. Our brows came in. He sat down. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come here?" And in my mind, it was like, yeah. There was no other option. So the first team that asked me to come, I was going to go. So, but I couldn't get in through clearinghouse because my Ontario marks and my Quebec marks, clearinghouse wouldn't take both of them. So they're like, "Well, why don't you go to University of Houston downtown campus?" Because they're saying if a school didn't have a football program, your clock wouldn't start. Mm-hmm. So I was like, it was either do that or stay in Canada. There was a couple of schools that are interested in me. One was University of Montreal. They were going to create this program. I'm like, man, I don't speak French. What's going on? So, University of Houston made sense to me at that time. So went up there doing my hours, getting ready to transfer into U of H. And then our brow comes out with the green and gold. I'm just like, oh, okay. That's completely different what was going on, right? Because I wasn't officially in the program, but I was doing something to get into the program. So I was doing everything right. They left and went to Baylor, and then I talked to the new coach at University of Houston, and brought me to his office, and he was like, "Yeah, we know the old staff was here. We'll try and honor it, and we'll get back to you." Never heard from him again. So, I go home for the summer. I'm just like, okay, I don't know. Do I go back to go to Canadian University, or do I keep going? My mindset was I wanted to play NCAA, and anything less at that time was I felt like I was settling, right? So he calls me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to come to Baylor?" And I'm on the phone like, "Well, yeah, I want to come to Baylor," because I had no other option at that time. So he's like, "Hey, well, Conference USA and Big 12 have different eligibility rules. So instead of, I think it was 18 hours, you need like 24. I'm just guessing right now, but that's what he had told me. And I was like, all right, what do I need to do? I'll take more hours and I'll transfer in. He was like, well, we don't want you to sit another year without playing football. So why don't you go to a JUCO and play a year so you're familiar, like just get your body back into it and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, where do I go? He's like, well, you can go to any JUCO you want to in Texas. He's like, but I met my wife in Tyler. So I was like, all right, send me to Tyler. And I actually met my wife in Tyler. That's funny. But, I played the 1 year at TJC, and I had to get 60 hours instead of the 24 that I had to get, which I already had 18, but which wasn't a problem. Playing the TJC was like my welcome to Texas football. And, I had a coach named Danny Palmer. If you heard about him, you know him, he has all the phrases and everything, but it was just, it was something I needed at the time. And it was, grateful for my time there at Tyler Junior College. Even when I was there, I had offers from other schools that wanted me, but he had said no, he's going to Baylor. You got to kind of honor that, right? Because Baylor sent me to Tyler TJC, and Baylor as well was going to go to. I went to Baylor, started, like you said, my first season at right tackle, and then the center eventually moved on, and they're like, hey, do you want to play center? You kind of fit the mold, your height and weight, as like an NFL center or professional center or whatnot. So I was like, okay, well, fine. Summertime, snapping at least 100 balls at practice. My quarterback at the time was Robert Griffin III, RG3. And, he was moving in the pocket, so I had a direct snap. And, sometimes snap go over his head and whatnot. But, we made it work, right? So that was, exciting. Right. And then my junior year, I got drafted by the CFL. And the funny thing is, like, no one called me because I had graduated, and I didn't know if I wanted to go back my senior year. And but the fact that no one called me, and my coach was like, man, you don't want to go to CFL yet. You still have another year. I want you to try it out, staying here and playing football another year, which kind of worked out because, we broke records when I was at Big 12. When I was at Baylor, and quarterback winning the Heisman kind of helped my draft stock tremendously, and drafted in the 4th round, and for Denver, it was just a cool experience.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, man. And it's interesting. I wanna rewind back. It's some. You got some intricate parts in there, man, and obviously we got a big time American audience. So, for those that don't know, especially about that wonderful country up north, Canada, I got indoctrinated. I love my time up there. I love the people up there. Talk to the people, man. Talk to me, man. Tell me what was that experience of. What is the biggest? And I mean, transparently, now you live in Texas. So your football experience, I don't know if you even said that right then, but just so y'all know, like, he live in Texas. You live in Waco, right?
No, I live in Maybank, so you live East Texas, about 2 hours from Waco.
East Texas. He gets a chance to see again the top of the line. So when you talk about when you think back to your high school football experience, your 1 year playing high school football, like kind of paint that picture. Like, what was it like? I know you said like students would just kind of be walking by and looking back. Facilities, as far as like structure, like what was that experience? What was that year like for you?
There was no Friday Night Lights, as you see, you watch on TV. It was, guys that had the love for football. There was teacher coaches that loved the sport, and they wanted, it was something else for the kids to do, right. It wasn't the best community. It was just something for kids to stay out of trouble and stay active. A lot of guys would come to practice. Some would miss practice because they have to work, or they have to go home and take care of siblings or whatnot. But if most guys didn't come to practice, we were running gases, right. I played offense line. I played offense, defense, everything, but it was just fun. It was something to do. And, when my brother or my cousin would come watch me, it was, something I can, show off, and, something fun for me to do.
Definitely.
Well, football is way, 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 way different. I mean, it's better now, as the years went by, but, my experience with it was that.
100%, man. Because like I know when I'm up there, and even Toronto, like now, like you're saying, it's way more urban, it's way more westernized. Like, there's so many more resources that have been put in And even the game up there has expanded so much.
Yeah.
With the with the CFL's help, believe it or not, just with going and getting more players and kind of being more exposed as a league. I know you were talking about your prep school experience with in Montreal. And granted, I also want to say, what I'm saying, you made a statement earlier when you were talking about getting the tapes and sending them out. Like that's how it used to be. There was no huddle. There was no that didn't exist for us. And I remember because I came up on the same time when it was, hey man, get this DVD, hand this out. You better send this out in the mail. You better do what you can do. Because if they're not showing up to you, you got to go try and get in front of their face. You got to get somebody that's going to walk that
100%.
DVD. And you know what I'm saying? When you got to that Montreal, that prep school, for those of y'all that don't know, like you said, with the French, Montreal is they're French first. So they're gonna lead with French. They kind of English comes.
The classroom, it was English speaking, but as soon as, you left the classroom, everyone's speaking French. But I mean, I didn't have no problem with it, it was just something, it was cool to me. It was something, I was away from home and it was just, it was on to something new and, I was continuing my career playing football. So that was my mindset. And it was, hey, this is the next step for me to get to where I want to get to, which was, playing NCAA. I didn't know where I wanted to go. It was, like I said, it was the first school to offer me, bring me on the visit. I was going. So, I mean, that's what my journey was about. So,
I got you, man. I got you. So during that time of you, what I'm saying, you going through playing ball for 1 year, going to prep school, kind of. What was that like? What would you say that was like on your family? Obviously because you're moving, you going from Toronto and being a kid in Toronto and being around the area to now you in Montreal, you in Quebec, and now you got the opportunity even to jump over in the States. And it's not like a lot of guys you see, they go to Montana, they go to Buffalo, you talking about going to Texas, you talking about Tyler, what was that like for the fam, man? Because
I mean, they're very supportive. I mean, especially my cousin. Me and him grew 3 years apart. We grew up together, and we play NCAA. So playing NCAA was we play on this school, play that school. This is where we wanted to be, and just that excitement of trying to get there was they're supportive. They're behind my back, and they would have to send money when I was begging for money. I was sleeping on couches, sleeping on people's floors. But they never told me to come back. They always told me to chase my dream. If this is what you want to do, go and do it. We're gonna be supportive of you 100%. And I'm always grateful for that. And they continue to support me, through my extended career. And it's just that support system. It really, really helped.
I got you, man. That time that's something that I kind of talk about in terms of the difference, especially now. And you got transfer portal and NIL, we love it. The kids is getting paid. It's nice to see. You know what it's like for it.
I got stipend, but the thing was I was Canadian, so they taxed my stipend. So the guys were getting $1,000 a stipend. I was probably getting $500-$600 a stipend. Just try to make it work. But I was just grateful, right? I mean, didn't complain. I had free meals, a place to sleep. That's all that really mattered, right? My mom would always be like, as long as you got a roof over your head and food in your belly, you're all right. So and I got to play football. So
and that's what's crazy, man. And that's what I kind of get at now is that mentality. A lot of that is still there up there, with a lot of kids that play up there and that push for an opportunity, coming out of Canada and coming down here to play NCAA football and coming not even and it's interesting you even say NCAA. There's quite a few kids up there that are look, I just want to go play. I don't care whether it's D1, D2, I'm just trying to go play. I just want an opportunity. I want somebody to take a shot on me so I can go play and get my chance and go do my thing. And just like I said, like in this world of NIL and everybody's just looking at the money and trying to chase the bag and the fame and all the glitz and the glam. Like,
Yeah.
it was one thing that I really appreciated while I was up there, and interacting with a lot of the kids up there. They're the same. I mean, like I said, it's 2025 and you cross the border and you got, I mean, shoot, in Texas, you talking about some of the upper echelon of the top high school ranked kids that's making NIL and pulling in all this money. And then, you know, you jump across the border up there and you got a kid that's like, look, they give me a chance, I'm taking it. Like I'm out of here. I'm just trying to go play ball. Like I'm trying to be better for myself. And you know, that's something that me personally, I appreciated up there. But what would you say is something that, you know, thinking back, what would you, if you could put something in place kind of in that area to help, especially offensive linemen, just up there, because we all need them, we all want them. Like everybody treats us, nobody wants to coach us and deal with us, but like we're the premium, we make everything kind of go. So what would you say is kind of, even in your area, in that GTA area, that you would say would help a lot of those kids or like old linemen kind of coming up now?
I mean, just like the camps, like there's a lot of guys, you know, ex-CFL guys right now are doing a lot of camps and, you know, teaching the kids the right way. Because, you know, like I said, in Canada, you don't really, like the high school coaches are not really getting paid to coach football, right? So they're doing it for the love of the game. And I've had a lot of, you know, coaches that, you know, took me under the wing, drove me here, drove me to this camp or drove me to this unofficial visit, you know, on their own dime, right? So, you know, that's how it was when I was, you know, coming up. You know, now there's more exposure, you know, social media kind of helping it. And, you know, just like I said, like there's a lot of ex-players, you know, from the CFL are now, you know, teaching the kids, you know, from their experience and, you know, teaching them the right way. So just the development of with that, you know, is going to have more players, better players, and, you know, more kids wanting to go down south and, you know, playing high level football, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I'm gonna transition a little bit. I'm gonna talk about, again, this is Trench Talk Live. I told you, man, we get the, first of all, I just wanted to point out, you know what I'm saying, we got a couple of the you know, the Phillip Blake originals right here. We got a little Montreal action. And like I said, for those of y'all that don't know, me and my dog played together. Once upon a time, man, we used to get it in out there in Sass, man, and that was a great time. So
I think that was the coolest experience like I had, because, you know, I just got traded. So I got traded. I flew on the flight. I think I did one walkthrough, and then we flew to Winnipeg, and then we went downstairs in the lobby, and we just like, hey, introduced ourselves, started talking to each other, and, you know, just trying to get to know each other. And then we went out there, didn't give up a sack. You know, we didn't win the game. I think we got blown out 30-0.
Yeah.
Like,
me and you looking at each other like, hey, bro, we picked this up pretty good.
But the thing is that it was something that I was so comfortable, and I was like, okay, this can work, right? Because it was just a different experience. I know playing in Montreal during those times, it was like we're just losing every year. Like we didn't have bad players. It was just, you know, for some reason, either we were just getting out coached or injuries also played a role in some of the years I was in Montreal. But you know, we went to Saskatchewan. You guys were winning at the time, and just that culture, just, you know, was a big shift in my career. And playing with you just made it like, okay, this is something, you know, I'm liking. You know, we're winning, and, you know, it started to become fun again.
Definitely, man. It was crazy. Like you said, like that was like a crazy time. Like I just remember I was playing beside, I want to say it was Blue at the time, and Blue had went down. Yeah. And he had gotten hurt, and I was like, oh man. So, and I want to say at that point they had moved Shepley to the right guard, and I was like, man, like what are we gonna do? And they made the trade, and it was like you said, it was like in the 11th hour, like out of nowhere.
It was on trade deadline.
Yeah, it was on trade deadline.
Like, because like the GM, sorry, the gym was like, I think it was I went to have my daughter born, and I would get into trouble. He called to see if I call him, and it was like, "Hey, you're on a suspended list." And long story short, I go back. And I'm like, "Oh, usually when people put you on a suspended list, they're gonna trade you."
Mhm.
No, I said, no, nothing like that. Da, da, da. Went home on the bye week, got a call. Say, "Hey, do you want to go to Saskatchewan?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm not gonna tell you what to do." Hang on the phone. And that's how that story began. But
That's
it is what
crazy.
it is. Through something negative, something positive came out of it. So just grateful for it.
Definitely, because when you got there, it was like, I think Josiah was the one that like called me and was like, "Hey, they just traded for Blake. You gonna be all right. Like, you gonna be good. We gonna be good. Like, we gonna be good. I swear to you." I was like,
Yeah.
"What? We gonna be good. You'll see in the morning. Like, you'll see in the morning. You'll see when you meet him." You got there, bro, and we it was literally like we hit the ground running, and you was like, "All right, so if I do this, you're gonna be standing there. Okay, so you see that too. Okay. So I ain't gotta say that. So you need me to say that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I had a great mentors. When I first got to Montreal, like from the NFL, I couldn't understand the language. Like it wasn't just clicking for me. There's a learning curve. Like going to playing center, I wasn't communicating. Like I was in playing at Baylor. I didn't say anything. I just had to snap the ball, and the protection was fire, ice, smoke, and cool. Slide left, slide right. Big 12, you usually run a 4-2 defense, so zone right, zone left, right? So playing center, I had to talk and call out protections. That was foreign to me, right? So there was a learning curve, and like I said, when I got to Montreal, it kind of like slowed down, and I mean, those guys like helped me out tremendously. The guy who helped me out was the center at the time. He's actually the O-line coach for Montreal Alouettes right now. Luc Brodeur-Jardin. I got to pronounce his name right, or you're going to cuss me out. Him and, the right guard at the time, Christian Matt. I mean, those two guys, like, put me on game. Like, with all those guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure I could have figured it out, but I wouldn't have figured it out the way I did and, extended my career, through those guys. So.
And that's a huge part of the game, especially to be honest, especially in the CFL. Like I tell people all the time, like as an American up there, you first of all, you got to have somebody in your corner that can tell you like what's up and what's kind of going on, because it's really harder to make a roster up there as an American than it is anything else. And people hear that and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Listen, it's harder to stick up there as an American than it is to make an NFL roster. It's 9 teams. There's only certain positions Americans can play.
Yeah.
If you have if you have an oddball Canadian in like an American spot, oh, now you can open up crazy possibilities. Now you like Tyrell Ford is what like creates a real like ratio issue, because Tyrell
it's shifted. It's shifted. I think we talked about it. It was like, when I came in the CFL, it was mostly O linemen were Canadian, right?
Yep.
So you can have kind of limited American offensive line spot because they put the 3 interior guys as Canadian, and maybe a tackle might be Canadian, but usually there's 2 Americans. So there's 2 spots right there and maybe 1 backup. And then now you see the skill guys, it's kind of like a shift in the Canadian ratio. And so now teams, even from up to last year, teams are running 4 American offensive linemen. So it's like kind of shifting. So a lot of the receivers are kind of upset right now because they're not getting that high paid dollar. But like I'm all for it. Like Canadian, American, just guys playing football, like just another place, another league to play football. These other leagues are jumping up, and guys are like, oh, they're gonna take away from this league. And me, it's just like, man, how hard it is, to play football, and the fact that you have a league that you can extend your career and maybe not ready to, decide what you want to do post football career, and kind of extend that, kind of make connections, and do something after it. Like the more leagues, the more better, I think. Right? It might take away guys or whatnot, but for a player, I think it's the best thing.
Because like right now, you need the UFL for receivers. Because like you said, like Canadian receivers are flooding the league, so pushing Americans out. Like you got maybe an X that's an American, but then you look at Ottawa and they took Margner, he an X. So now like Gino going over there, it's like, okay, well, you put Geno with the X, but you got another like big outside receiver, like the to the field, like bring them to the ball. So it's wild how, you know what I'm saying, and like even looking at it year to year, like the shift just takes place. Like we went through like a phase, I want to say in like 18, where everybody was almost like you were saying, it was 3 interior were Canadian. Then you started looking at like all these star-studded American receivers, but you're looking at these D lines that's like loading up, trying to go for Americans, and they trying to like rush at you for American, and you're like, come on, man, like, come on, dog. Like this.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going like seeing the roster and then be like, oh, you came from here. I'm like, oh, great. You know, it's like I love the competition, right? And you know, they came from this school, this big school, and it's all right. This is the challenge, and you know, I always look forward to that.
Definitely, man. So, speaking of challenges, speaking of competition, man, and I know you like some. I like some myself. So we're gonna have a little this versus that real quick. Usually I do a little segment called what are we doing? I decided to do this versus that since you had a good tenure. You know, you got a chance to play against some big time rushers and big time players in the CFL. So we're gonna do this versus that. So what I'll do is I'll throw you a name. It'll be a D lineman from the CFL. Around the eras that we played, where we would have played against. And you just give me who's better. We'll see where it goes.
That's fine.
Charleston Hughes versus John Bowman.
Oh man, ex-teammate. Oh, I mean, I seen Bowman in practice like every day for 3 years. You know, I had a big scout team. Man, that's tough. Oh, I'd have to go with John Bowman, man. John Bowman's my guy, man.
You taking Bowman over Chuck? You taking Bowman over Chuck?
Yeah, I gotta take Bowman. Ex-teammate.
Ooh, you started.
I'm not gonna say Chuck was not bad. Like he was good, man. But Bowman is just like he was smooth. He was smooth with it. Like Chuck, you gotta like time and you get the spin. You're just waiting for that spin. Bowman, like you just for me, right? My personal experience, right?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's just I had more problems with Bowman than I did with Chuck.
And you know what? And I should have probably brought this up before we even started this. You know, I always talk about, again, like I say, it's Trench Talk Live. So we talk at O-line. So me and you, as well as we play beside each other and as well as we play together, are 2 totally different types of players. Like, I want quick. I want fast. I'm all for speed. I'm all for speed. I'm all for quickness. I am trying to punch you out of the club, but I'm trying to combo you up. Like I'm out there dancing, combo, throwing uppercuts, lefts, rights, hooks. You're gonna see 70 different combinations from me over the night. You, my good friend, you don't mind taking one on the face. Like you that used to kill me. Like we watching tape and somebody just go to bull you and you just and I'd be like, oh dog, nah, you tripping. I ain't living that life. And you look at me and laugh and be like, hey, you got it.
I mean, it's just the contact, you know, like the first initial contact. You want to see what they all got, and you know, sometimes I got blown back and had to catch myself, and you know, it's just to kind of wake me up, and you know, just. The more they exert energy, you know, I play the long game. You can bull me, and you're going to use more energy than I am, right? So just playing the long game with the bull and, you know, throwing guys on the floor and making them get up. So that's more energy exertion for them. And, like, I'm always playing the long game, just slowly wearing you out. I mean, you can get me a couple times, 1 or 2 times, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to get the best of you.
And it's funny, man, because it's like when I talk to younger O linemen and I look at them and I explain it and I explain exactly what you just said. I even say it like this sometimes. I go, you do realize that D linemen just need to beat you 3 times the whole game, 3 times. And if they beat you 3 times at the right time, They get defensive player of the game. They get look like they had the game of their life, and you looked at like you suck and you're terrible. But in all realism, if you turn on the tape and you watch the whole game, you dominated them all but 3 plays of the game.
Yeah.
And when you playing the long game, like you said, first quarter, second quarter, sometimes even in the third, it's like, okay, you got me. But I guarantee you, when we look at these 75 plays, you gonna win 5, 6, 7 of them tops. The rest of them are mine, and I'm winning, and you using extra energy, and that long game, man. By the fourth quarter, they're dead. Like you're throwing them on the floor. You just laughing at them. You talking to them. You look. Hey, look, I remember
that's the fun part. That's the fun part of offensive line. I mean. Like it's like, oh, what is there fun about offensive line? Is you can't, like, especially the kids, you can't promote it, right? You don't want to promote violence, but like just throwing a guy on the ground or him straining to push you back and you can't do nothing about it. I mean, like it's like no greater feeling like having like that power over another man. I mean, that's just me. Like it's just that feeling.
Against their will, man. Against their will. That's what I love to say is like you making somebody do what you want them to do against their will. Like he want to go left. Nah, you going right today, buddy. Like my decisions, my choices, man. So
there's things that me and you did where you can set them up, set defensive line up, just to catch them slipping and just to be like, okay, you ain't coming inside and kind of like mess up their game and make them one way, right? Rush outside, makes it easy for the tackle. I mean, that was the best thing about playing guard, working with the tackle and center. I got to, just do more. Playing guard was the most fun position for me because just the fact that I get to work with, 2 people, right? So,
and 2 positions that you played in too. I think back to my position when I got slid inside the center from, again, tackle, you get moved inside. At first, it's like, whoa, like everything's moving fast. Everything's happening like right now. But then that's when you start to realize like, oh, I see his problem in this issue. And I know what his is. I know what mine is. So now they move me. I can help him a little bit, give him an extra step, and I can help him out. I know who's got the problem and where then to make it and to help it out. And that makes the whole process so much better.
Understanding center was probably the best thing. Obviously, you got to know what everybody does, but just like my whole thought process of playing offensive line was, like every position is doing the same thing, right? It's obviously if you're left side or right side, the footwork is like all pretty much the same. The angles might be just a little bit different. I mean, that's the big thing, the angles you take. But my footwork at center, guard, and tackle were all the same. It's just the angle I took while I used it. So
I like to say time, space, and angles, man. That's like that's the life we live in is time, space, and angles. Ooh, man. So so you started off Bowman over Chuck. So let's go Bowman versus Willie.
Oh, I play with Willie. I don't know. Willie's good. I have a different perspective with Willie just because I played with him in college. When he first came to Baylor, he was a tight end. Yeah. I seen him catch his first touchdown. So, and I think I did play against him when he went to SFA. He transferred to SFA. And but me playing with Willie is just I wasn't as aggressive. I don't know, just how I played against him because he was more finesse. So it just had to play just a different style of football when I played against him. But overall, I'm gonna take Bowman. John Bowman.
You're gonna take Bowman again, man.
I see them. Oh, man, I see that front row seats, man.
it's crazy because like with me, like what you saying is true, Willie, and I guess what we kind of getting at in the big picture, and what I tell people, especially when they ask about the CFL, is I say it's a different game because of that yard off. So
Yeah,
you see different rushers manipulated different ways. Like
Mhm.
Charleston, like you saying, Charleston was setting up that spin move. You know he's gonna set it up. It's a setup. Everything is a setup. And once he figures out, like, oh, you do this every time I do this, oh, that's how I'm gonna set you up now. So
Wait for that shoulder turn.
yeah, you got to stay square. You can't play that turn game because the minute you start turning your shoulders, he gonna put you in a blender. But
Mhm.
you see somebody like Willie, and Willie isn't built like Chuck. Chuck is like 6'1", like 240 and 250. You got Willie to
Speed, he
6.
had power as well. So
Yeah, and Willie uses length to kind of make up for the manipulate. I don't even I don't even know what Charleston is. I'm not gonna say he's like fast. I guess he
I mean, like he just, I guess, as a defensive lineman, he knew his angles, right? You're talking about offensive lineman taking the right angles. He knew to put offensive linemen in bad angles, and when he did, he exposed you for it.
and like you said, like Willie made you play a game that was just not. It was like it didn't even feel like football sometimes.
Yeah, he was sideline to sideline, especially with the yard off, because you know he's going to jump the bat the ball off. So you want to get your hands on him, but at the same time, he has a small body frame.
Yeah,
so he
you
can just
can't
swim right over you.
He swim you.
Game.
They're like, where do I like? How do I grab? It's almost like blocking a light pole. Like you like, man, it's because he ain't but this wide, so you almost punching nothing sometimes, and he just wants to get you leaning. He wants to make you aggressive. It's wild, man. So you got. Ooh, let's okay. We're gonna pause on the edges. Let's go inside. Let's go. No. Actually, let's take the edges again. Let's go. Let's go. Chuck versus Lemon.
Ooh, I had a lot of battles with Sean Lemon. You know, a lot of battles. You know, me and him didn't see eye to eye a couple times, but I'm not gonna say he's a great player, man. Great player, but between them two, they're kind of like the same kind of play style, and I'd have to go with Chuck. I'm gonna go with Chuck.
Okay, you go with
Just
Chuck.
because I played against Lemon and we had a little battles, and you know,
Lemon
certain things
Lemon.
within the trenches that you don't want to talk about. I'll go with Chuck.
Listen, Sean is so it's interesting. I believe I'm gonna pick Chuck too. I'm gonna pick Chuck over them. To be honest, to me, Chuck was the hardest person I had to block in the entire CFL. And the great part was I was his teammate in SAS, so I got to see it every day. But I would intentionally irk his nerves, like just doing stuff, just to see him turn it up a little bit, just so I could kind of get one of them like, all right, I'm good. I'm good for game day. Like I can handle that. Like, all right, I'm straight.
Some guys you knew in practice, if you can block them, you're good for whoever you're gonna go against. And you know, obviously he was one, Chuck was one Bowman. Like if you have a good week against them, you're okay, you felt as comfortable as hell because you know if he's one of the top guys and I'm battling with him or whatnot, my chances are pretty high, going in there confidently.
Definitely. So let's see. We got. Oh, let's go inside. Let's go inside for a brief second, man. I'm curious. Let's go Ted versus Mondo.
I'll go Mondo because he's the only one to put me on my butt, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was sliding inside. He caught me. Let me start over. First, I trapped him. So he leaned in. I trapped him down. He fell. And he's like, okay, Blake, we doing it like that. And I'm like, all I hear stories about Mondo. So I was like, all right, let's see what's going to happen. He give me a little shake. So I stepped inside, and all I seen was the sky. And I was like, all right. I got me on that one. It is what it is. But Teddy was a great player as well. But playing in the Eastern Conference with Hamilton. But Teddy was good. But Mondo, he was a whole nother beast, man.
Man, listen, man.
He was good. Drake Nevis had the hump from hell, I called it.
Okay, all right. Listen, look. You beat me to it. Yeah, you beat me too. Because the next one I was gonna say, okay, Nevis. You remember Devon Coleman?
Devon Coleman or Nevis?
Devon Coleman or Nevis?
I'm gonna go with Nevis. Devon Coleman, I don't think he likes me either. He's one of the guys that didn't like me. I remember we played that BC game. He said he was going. I'm not gonna repeat it on live, but it is what it is. But Drake Nevis, I mean, like I said, he had the hump from hell. I remember watching the game. He humped me, then humped the tackle, and came back and humped me back inside.
Man,
I was like, man, what's going on?
Listen, bro.
It's crazy how he did that, man. And you couldn't stop it. You could just nothing you can do about it.
Bro,
you just had your hand on the side, and you just felt the arm go up. It was a wrap.
I honestly wish that I still had that. I wish that I had the I still got the video from when we played Winnipeg, and he tried to get me. So, like you said, like all you doing that week is like you watching it, and you like, what can I do to make sure that I don't end up like him and him and him and him and him 4 times, like 3 series in a row, and him. So they ran a TE, and okay, boom, got the pass off, and all I felt was a hand. Like I just felt a hand like this. And when it did, like I sat down. Like the minute I felt it, I was like, I can't get it off. You just sit down. And I sat down. You see on tape, he just tries to hump me and like throw it by. And I just like, I'm sitting down, and I like lift back up. And he started laughing. He was like, how'd you know I was about to do that? I was like, listen, bro. Listen, I done seen it. I done seen enough.
I had Drake as a teammate. I had to give him his props. I'm like, man, I could never stop that move that you did to me, man. It was pretty impressive.
That hump move, like his was different. His was way different. So let's do another one, man. Let's see. I got a couple other names left.
Right.
AC versus Garrett Davis.
Oh man, I'm going to Garrett Davis. 100%. That, like I said, to me, because Garrett Davis was more, like I said, guys who run around the edge, like I can start to time it. But Garrett, he was so shifty, and he was like almost his knees were touching the ground as he like went side to side. Sometimes I'd catch him just by my fingertips, like just by the grace of God, by catching him by my fingertips just to stop that move. But AC was another top tier player, but between those two, I'll give it to Garrett.
Man, Garrett was so bad built, bro. Like so bad built.
He made it work. I used to call him two-tone. Those body type two-tones. You know, you're DB at the bottom and the O-line up top, or defensive lineman up top.
Bro, I used to pick at him during the game. I used to be like, "Why are you built like that? Like, who gym do you work out at? You please tell me, because it's not an advertisement." And he used to be like, "Man, shut up, Cofield, man."
I don't know how he did it, but he made it work, man. He made it work. Another former teammate of mine too.
Another Charleston, another Chuck disciple.
Yeah, he was. They played together. I don't know if they played together, but they were in Calgary.
Yeah, I think they did play together 1 year in Calgary. Man, dog, they were them Garrett, Sean, Chuck. Like it's like trying to block a wet fish, man. Like it's trying to grab wet fish, and it just.
They had a bunch of guys up there, man. A bunch of guys.
Oh, I was about to say, I forgot about Law. Cordell was out there. That's, man. They. All right, got another one. Another one. We going Micah or Cleon Lane?
Oh. I'm gonna go Mike Johnson. Micah Johnson, sure, yeah, 100%. Because me and him had battles throughout the years, and always consistent to this day. He's still playing right now, and I'd have to go with Micah Johnson for that one. Cleon is a great player as well. I mean, my battles against him as well. You know, another one of the guys had a battle in the trenches, but I'd go Micah Johnson between those two.
Man, Cleon Cleon had that club, man. Cleon
Yeah,
used to
he
just
was shifty. He would like do
he,
this.
and he catch you, he catch
Inside,
you leaning. Yeah, if he saw you doing this with the club on the stutters, he gonna catch you leaning and throw the club and knock you by, man. And Micah, man, I used to hate playing Micah.
Oh yeah, the headbutt. He headbutt you to death.
Like it's just like he's trying to concuss you. Like it's he's trying to put you in CTE protocol. Like
Yeah.
not only that, he was in that Calgary. He was in that run that Calgary had when they used to take the interior guys and they used to kick them out the fives.
Put him on the side.
Man, and this dude used to be out
I
there.
remember.
He trying to give me an outside rush, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, dog, you not no edge no more. Like I know what you're doing. You're about to bull rush me. This is, but the problem is I couldn't trap his bull rush, so I just like have to kind of catch it and absorb it and try and stand it up. Cause he never like extend fully. He kind of keep it in to the last second. And I'd be like,
He was a college linebacker, so
yeah, he
had some kind. He had a finesse for a big guy. Right.
Definitely.
The funny thing is, like, he played tackle. I wanted to play tackle when I was in Montreal. I think when someone went down, and they did that little invert thing, and he ran the hoop on me. I think we had Johnny Manziel as a quarterback, and I'm like, throw the ball. Got a sack. I was like, oh my god! I gave him a 3-tech or whatever, a sack off the edge. But I was so upset.
Man,
but, yeah, Michael's a good dude, man. Michael's
definitely,
good.
man, definitely. So we got the last one. And yeah, why not? Let's do these two. The hot take of the day, because I know he gonna see it, and if he don't see it, I'm gonna send it to him. So we gonna go Odell versus Charleston.
Oh my god, he gave me the hardest one, dude. Like my experience playing against them, if they're gonna put on the tape,
if
you put on the tape, you're gonna say, yeah, Odell got the best of me because he gave me some spin moves I couldn't stop. So me personally going one-on-one against both those guys, Odell got the best of me between them two. But I'll say overall player, oh man, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. I'll go with Chuck. I know Odell might be upset with like I said, like between them two playing against them, Odell did get the best of me, but like preparing, going into a game, Chuck was someone to worry about all the time.
That it's funny. I got Odell his last 3 years, really. Like at the taper end. I got Odell when he got to BC, and it wasn't the same. It wasn't like
Odell Edmonton.
Don't get me wrong, like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I saw in Edmonton. Like it wasn't the Edmonton Odell, and it was like
that spin move he got for the 100 sacks. That spin move got a lot of people.
Again, but see, I feel like too Odell is kind of in that like Chuck, Gary. Yeah, they're all in that same 6'1", 240.
Was that like what's that player? I can't even think of it. Oh my god. Well, Texas A&M. He's on Buffalo right now. Defensive end. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Von Miller.
That's his name.
Yeah.
They're
all
like that type of body type.
Shorter versions of Von Miller. They're like a little shorter than Von Miller, but they play just like that. That. And it's funny you bring that up. That's another thing that I always say about the CFL is, and you'll feel this when I say it. Like you almost take a deep sigh of relief to a certain extent once you like leave the NFL and you go up there, because the monsters don't look the same. Like monsters down in Canada, I mean down south, down in the States.
Yeah,
they're JJ Watt and Vince Wilfork and Terrence Knight, and you just like, yo, like excuse the dog. But nah, those are like the monsters. Whereas like you go up north, the monsters are like Ted Laurent, Drake Nevins, Micah, which are still monsters, but like, okay, I can find ways to block these guys. Like where it's like down here, hey man, look, you some of the monsters in the NFL, you just be like, bro, you just gotta hope and hold on.
Yeah.
Like you just gotta try and die slower than everybody else has. Like
it's a different game. It's a different game, with the one less down and the lot of turnovers. Those big guys, 300+ pounders. It's a lot of transition and two and out, going back on the field. It's you start wearing down over time. So guys had to slim down, and the defensive interior guys weren't as big. There's some guys that were pretty big that come in on certain downs, but they weren't going. You knew they weren't going to last the whole game. You can just run outside zone. By the second quarter, they're done, right? So
yeah, that's another thing. I'm glad you bring that up. I wish these dogs would stop it killing me. Nah, it's another thing. It's funny you bring that up, and that's something else that I tell people is like you playing on a soccer field, like it's 65 yards wide, so it's a wider field up there in the CFL, up there in the Canadian game, and with the one less down, you talking about more throws, the RPOs, you talking about. So you're getting a pass rush a little bit more than what you think and what you used to, and man, it's like you said, it makes cats slim down and play a little differently. Like the time in the double teams is a little different, so the footwork is hitting a little different. The one part that like threw me off that was like tough was the stunts and picking up the games, the twist games, because the
levels that you guys had to be on, everybody had to be on.
Yeah, you got a big chance of being on two different levels. So like that was the biggest like I'm gonna get picked. Like so like knowing who you playing beside, I used to be like, because like with you, it was like,
you just had to figure out the depth between the guys.
Go ahead, go up underneath. He gonna tattoo you. Go ahead, go inside. Like you know who that is standing in there.
I ain't gotta look at him, but I'm waiting for him. So
yeah, like the minute he cross face, he be like, let me chill. Like, let me flatten out before he be there.
You only really gotta do maybe once or twice a game, and
he's
gonna double.
They tap out, man.
There.
It's crazy, man. That's that league up there it's like a whole different game. It's a whole different world. And just me, like a lot of times trying to tell people and explain kind of how it works. It's just it's wild. Like, but again, once you got somebody that kind of lived it and been up there too, they're like yeah, like, and then even this past year, me coaching, which was crazy. Like you playing and I'm like up there coaching and like I'm standing on the side. Like, I'm looking at like different ones of y'all like still playing and I'm like, yo, this is wild.
I mean, even the last couple of years, maybe the last 3-4 years, I'll say the last 3 years, I was more of a like, all right, are we gonna say pass the torch or whatnot? I was just trying to put as many guys as I could on before I left, right? Because it was like, man, this worked for me. I did this. I'm not saying you have to do it. It will work for you, but just give it a shot and kind of build your game off of it. Because my game was built basically off the guys I played with, or just you want to say stealing and just stealing the other guys' ideas of how they approach the game and making it my own. So that was one thing I can say that I took from it, and what I shared to the younger guys. Just sharing as much as I can with what guys shared to me when I first came into the league. So
definitely, man. I'm glad you said that because I was actually going to ask you that. Like, what if you could look back at a young Phillip Blake now, walking into his first year, man? What would you tell him? What's the best advice which you would give him? And what would you even say to a younger lineman that's walking into the kids that just got drafted into the CFL now?
Just lean on the veteran, lean on the older guys, man. Like, yeah, it's a competition. I mean, it's a competition, and you like as an older guy, I never worried about my spot being taken. If it got taken by the better person, right? So, and I didn't want to be gatekeep information from nobody or like be that veteran, presence to someone, right? Because everyone's trying to provide, with it for themselves or their family or whatever it is, right? So, if I'm a part of that, or just maybe a little bit part of that, I was excited about that, and that's what I was given to the game. Guys play and they go in the NFL or sign NFL. I'll always message them just because I feel like I was a part of that. I mean, thank you for being a part of your journey, and now you're in the NFL or whatever you're doing. Just those were my highs when I towards the end of my CFL career.
Definitely, man. Definitely. You definitely poured into the game, and you put some good people out, man. And you mentored some good ones. I had a chance to, have Shane this past year, man. And
Oh yeah, Shane.
it was good to see him play well and kind of revitalize his career because, his time in Toronto, he had some ups and downs just like we all do.
Yeah, just that's how it is, man. Just how my NFL career was. It's just sometimes it's not the right timing, man. God has a timing for everybody, and whenever you get it, you'll know, man. You'll know.
Amen to that, man. Amen to that. So it's 8:02, man. It's 8:02. We done. I told you, man, you're gonna look up and the hour's gonna be like that. You just gonna snap your fingers. It's just gonna happen, man. So,
I really appreciate you letting me do this, man.
Man, I appreciate you coming up here, man. It's a lot of gems that would drop, a lot of great things that you had to say, man. And like I said, your story, bro, is one that's always when you sat down and like I said, when you sat down and you told it to me, I was just like, man, this is crazy. You're like you only played ball for a year, and you was like, yeah, bro, like, and we keep on keeping on, man. So. And I feel like it's one that's relevant to share, man, because
I appreciate it, man.
I like to say, every week this ain't easy. Like it's a lot to put together. And you remember, shoot, I called you a week ago trying to get you on, and people maneuvering. We got kids and marriage and life and work. But that's kind of the realism that kind of hits me in doing this all the time is giving a space for guys that have made a long career out of this and been productive and seen this game change their life and take them places that they might have not even thought about or even really known about prior to, playing this great game, man, and, sustaining your career and sustaining the time and having the success, and any kid in Canada that watches this and any kid in the United States even watching this, that is wondering like, dang, like, is it tough? Like, yeah, it's tough, but that's kind of like we was talking about right then. Like, that's the game. Is you're gonna have highs and lows, and the biggest thing is just trying to pour in and give back and make sure that the next kid behind you and the next guy behind you, they continue to improve. And this place, we see places be better, the second time around, and we leave places better than we found them, man. So
yeah.
That's definitely huge. So before we wrap it up, man, this was definitely a master class on how to sustain, bro. How to sustain, and like you said, from Toronto to JUCO to Baylor to the CFL, the NFL, different rushers.
Oh yeah, you just gotta, like let's say, you want it. Like you just gotta want it. Even playing in the CFL, I remember talking to GM. It's like, oh, you want to be the highest paid? I'm like, yeah, I want to be the highest paid. And it's like, oh, there's going to be a target on your back. And I was thinking, I'm like, well, who else do I want to put this target on but myself, right? Like, I want to be that guy that everybody wants to chase. Or even watching film and go through practice and watching film. And I'm like, man, I'm not trying to watch nobody else but myself. I want the coach to be like, oh, watch Blake do this. So I put the extra time and the extra efforts, just because you gotta want it, man. You just gotta want it. You gotta and you gotta love the sport. I didn't love the sport, at first, and I had to lose it. I had to lose the sport to begin to love it again. And this is what it did for me, and I'm forever grateful for it.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So appreciate you for coming on, brother. Appreciate for having you, man. It was a big, great opportunity, bro. We're gonna try and get you back again, man. Talk some more ball, talk some more stuff. Definitely gonna try and do something with the CFL this year. Try and get up a couple get-togethers with the old guys. Try and throw different guys up here. Believe it or not, next week we're supposed to have Josiah, man. So
okay,
yeah.
A couple questions.
Hey, go ahead. Hey, look. Yeah. He is the number one overall, so we gonna really find out was
That
like,
is true.
man, that was a different JUCO experience even for him.
Yeah.
He he got another like wow story. Just being
Mhm.
#1 overall and coming from the mean streets of the six, man. So but nevertheless, man, I definitely appreciate you, brother, and definitely love having you up here. Again, shout out to you. Anything else you're doing, man, I definitely love to advertise it, put it up. So appreciate y'all for tuning in tonight. Continue to support. The YouTube channel is up. We having clips, we having shorts drop, man. We got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of stuff going on. Big announcements that I got coming out here soon. So definitely appreciate y'all. Without further ado, we will wrap it up tonight. Let's see.
Yeah, TC3, we in the trenches.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go.
Lights on, mic check, time to go live. Game talk, real talk, straight from the grind. Recruitment, NIL, we cover it all. From the field to the books, we never gon' stall.
Nah.
Trench Talk Live, we keep it real. Breaking down the game, giving out the deal. NCAA, we talking skills. From the grind to the shine, we getting thrills.
Let's go. Yeah, we talking